Welcome again. We're just here. I'm going to reminisce on the past great moment we had on this day, the 25th June, 38 years ago, 25th June 1983, when India won their first World Cup title, beating the mighty West Indies, the invincible West Indies, the Clive Lloyd's team, by 43 runs and winning to kickstart a great cricket explosion in our country. It was a great moment for Indian cricket, and it's indeed, I think, today is a day when we should really remember that moment. India, before the World Cup, had difficult time in their international circuit. They had lost 3-0 in the test series against Pakistan and 2-0 in the test series against West Indies, and didn't look at all good in one-day cricket as well, till there was one match in West Indies which they won against West Indies. Surprised them. The first time they won a match, one-day match against the West Indies at Berbice in Guyana, and that win probably acted as a catalyst that gave India a little bit of confidence, because the World Cup was going to be held from June, from the month of May in England, in very good bowling conditions. So that win maybe had given India some confidence before, as when the World Cup started in the very first match, again India beat the West Indies, surprised the West Indies to start off with 4 points in the very first match. It was a big win, and everyone was surprised to see India again beating the West Indies for the second time in a couple of months in a one-day match. But then West Indies are a strong team as they are. After that jolt, they really picked themselves up and won one after the other matches easily, and reached the finals easily by beating Pakistan in the semi-finals. And they was waiting for the other team to get into the finals to complete their hat-trick of World Cups. While on the other hand, India, after beating West Indies, they won their next match against Zimbabwe, lost to Australia, again lost to West Indies in their return match. So a little bit of lull they had in their progress. Then they had a very close match against Zimbabwe. They were 5 for 17 when Kapil Dev came and rescued the match with that 175. And after that, there was no stopping India. They won against Australia in the last match, which almost was a knockout game, and reached the semi-finals, where they beat England convincingly by 6 wickets in another unexpected result. England were expected to win the semis and reach the World Cup finals, but it did not happen. West Indies were already waiting in the finals, beating Pakistan, and there was India. And now it was not England, but India versus West Indies in the finals. At the Lord's pitch on the morning of 25th June 1983 was a green tinge wicket, and Kapil Dev and Clive Lloyd tossed out, and Clive Lloyd it was who won the toss and he sent India into bat. Clive Lloyd was kind of a captain who used to send the opposition in more often than not, because he had the faith in their bowlers who just restrict the opposition to any score, for their batsmen to have it easy when they chase down the score. So that was definitely the logic, and with the pitch also showing affinity towards the fast bowlers, it was always on the cards that Clive Lloyd would win the toss and bowl. India started poorly. Gavaskar was already out of form in that World Cup, and he got out for 2. And after that, it was a good performance, a good partnership between Srikanth and Mohinder Ramanathan. Srikanth was batting beautifully. I mean, he was striking the ball very well, and he looked in control. He was hitting the ball nicely, hitting all the bowlers very well. He was showing a lot of courage to play his strokes, while Mohinder Ramanath was all cool as a cucumber. He was very steady. He was very controlled and well controlled in his defense. He never looked like getting out, and he hooked one bouncer from Marshall towards the square leg boundary, and then looked in no trouble at all, till a lovely delivery from Michael Holding went through his defenses and knocked out the off stump, which for 26. Amarnath was out for 26, Srikanth was out earlier for 38. So those 2 wickets jolted India, and from there was a collapse, and Kapil Dev going out for 15. But then there was a good innings from Patil of 27 and a good last wicket stand, which helped India to somehow manage to get to a total of 183, which was very inadequate considering the West Indies batting lineup. They had a strong batting lineup of Greenidge, Haynes, Richards, Lloyd, Dujon. I mean, they can just explode at any time. And of course, we know what their bowling attack was. While Marshall, Roberts, Holding in Ghana, they could decimate any side. They actually decimated India for 183 in their first innings, and it took all set for a West Indies win with such a strong array of batsmen. It was just a matter of time before West Indies would lift their third World Cup. It was was the real feeling around the ground and everywhere who were watching cricket, who were watching the match. But then, Malvinder Singh Sandhu bowled a beautiful in swinger, got rid of Greenwich, followed by an a very good stand between Haynes and Richards. Richards came in and looked in great control. He was arrogant, he was chewing gum, he was hitting the ball beautifully through the covers and on the onside, and he's hitting fours after fours. He looked in complete control and looked like in the mood to finish off the match in 30 overs, and maybe we go to go and see a flame. I don't know. I mean, the way Richards was batting, and it looked all curtains for India till the time when Madan Lal came on, probably to bowl the last over before that of that spell. When he bowled one shot, which Richards went for the pull, he looked a bit overconfident, went for the pull, skied it in the air, and Kapil Dev from mid-wicket ran backwards and took an absolute blinder of a catch as if the whole life depended on it. It was a great catch, and that catch totally changed the game. Catches win matches, and that catch there was never a better example of that. So after that, it was a collapse for West Indies. Clive Lloyd, Larry Gomes. Lloyd had a muscle pull before that, and he couldn't drive on the up to Roger Beanie. Was caught by Kapil Dev in the covers. Gomes caught by Gavaskar of Madan Lal, and then Bacchus went out quickly. So 76 for 6, and that was the time when Dujon and Marshall got into a very good partnership, and they steadied the innings. They looked good, and they looked confident, and they slowly and steadily taking the West Indies closer towards the Indian score, and the tension mounted in the stands and everywhere where Indians were watching in the country. It was absolutely full of tense, a gripping match. Dujon even hitting a six, and then Mohinder Amanat got into the act. His bowling is very suited to Indian conditions. Gentle medium pace, military medium pace, puts it on the right spot and swings it around. And that one of the ball which cut back slightly had Dujon playing on to his stance for 25. It was a very, very crucial wicket under the circumstances, and that brought India back into the game. After that, Marshall got out quickly for 18, caught by Gavaskar of Amanat, and from there, West Indies were rattled till a final partnership of 14 runs happened between Holding and Ghana. And again, some tension mounted as slowly and steadily they looked like taking West Indies closer and closer towards the Indian total. But then at 140 for 9, Mohinder Amanat's straight ball was missed by Holding as he tried to do across the line, tried to hit it across the line. He missed the ball and he hit the stumps. He was given out, and the Indian fans simply swarmed the Lord's cricket ground. Within moments, it was a sea of humanity as the players ran back into the safety of the pavilion. And soon after, Kapil Dev was seen lifting the World Cup in the Lord's balcony. Mohinder Amanat getting the man of the match again in the final after his semi-final man of the match award. And so, what a day for Indian cricket! And we all, the generations who were teenagers in those times, we never slept that night. We were absolutely excited. We were absolutely, totally bewildered, stunned to see West Indies lose like this by 43 runs. Such a big team like West Indies. It was one of the biggest surprise in world cricket ever. India beating West Indies, India beating West Indies by 43 runs and winning the World Cup 1983. It was a greatest moment of Indian cricket ever. India winning against one of the greatest teams in world cricket across eras. So that's it. Please like and subscribe my channel. More videos coming. Thank you.